It was total domination. Yesterday, you voted on Twitter using #Greta and told us who won the early Fox News debate. And, well, former Hewlett-Packard CEO and presidential candidate Carly Fiorina ending up the big winner with 81% of our Twitter vote. And take a look at some of her best debate moments. She even addressed the Trump factor.
He's tapped into an anger that people feel. They're sick of politics as usual. You know, whatever your issue, your cause, the festering problem you hoped would be resolved, the political class has failed you. That's just a fact, and that's what Donald Trump taps into. It is disturbing that every time one of these homegrown terrorist attacks occurs, and as your question points out, they are occurring with far too great frequency, it turns out we had warning signals. We need to be very well aware of the fact that China and Russia are using technology to attack us, just as ISIS is using technology to recruit those who would murder American citizens. Hillary Clinton lies about Benghazi. She lies about emails. She is still defending Planned Parenthood, and she is still her party's front runner. 2016 is going to be a fight between conservatism and a Democrat Party that is undermining the very character of this nation. We have to undo a whole set of things that President Obama has done that get at the heart of his disrespect and disregard for too many Americans.
Carly Fiorina joins us. Nice to see you, Carly.
Great to be with you, Greta. Thank you.
All right, Carly, you had a big night last night, but before you did the debate, you were here on the record, and I asked you what you wanted to accomplish at the debate. Here's what you told me the night before.
I want people to know who I am because only 40% of Republicans have heard my name. I have the lowest name ID of anyone in the field. I want people to understand that I can win this job and do this job, and I want people to understand something of what I will do when I'm in the job.
Did you achieve that, Carly? Do they now know who you are?
I think so, yes. More know who I am, and every day I hope even more will know who I am. That is part of what this takes, is getting to know people and having people get to know you.
All right, so I've been a short time, but do you have any idea whether, for instance, that money is pouring in or anything else? Have you noticed any change in the last, I know it hasn't been very long, but do you feel it in any way?
Well, we certainly feel it in our online fundraising, without a doubt. And we certainly feel it as well in the mentions in the media of all kinds, and we certainly feel it in the Twitterverse and on Facebook. So I think we're gathering momentum, which is great.
All right, 81%, and I should add that everybody else was well below 10%. So, I mean, it's quite a commanding Twitter vote that you won last night. All right, now that you want people to get to know you, one of the things that people have known a little bit about is that you were the CEO of Hewlett-Packard. You got fired from there. So tell us a story about what happened, and then tell me how the viewers should consider this in evaluating you as a candidate.
Well, I led Hewlett-Packard through a very difficult time, the dot-com bust, post 9/11, the worst technology recession in 25 years. And in tough times, sometimes tough calls are required. But despite those tough times, we took Hewlett-Packard from about $44 billion to almost $90 billion in revenue. We quadrupled its growth rate, quadrupled its cash flow, tripled innovation to 11 patents a day, and went from lagging behind in every product in every market to leading in every product and every market. At the end of my 6 years, I was fired in a boardroom brawl. And I was fired because when you lead, you must challenge the status quo. And when you challenge the status quo, you make enemies. I started out as a secretary in a 9-person real estate firm, ultimately became the chief executive of what we grew to become the largest technology company in the world, and I'm now running for the presidency of the United States. That story is only possible in this country, and yet what is happening to this country, led by progressive policies such as Hillary Clinton wants to put in place, what's happening in this country is the potential of too many people is being crushed, and the potential of those little businesses that give most Americans their chance, like they gave me a chance, are getting crushed as well.
All right, well, let me have a little fun with you in the Twitter universe since you won so handsomely in our debate. I found a tweet that might interest you. It's from Greg Bin NC, and he says in part, "I'm undecided, but love Carly Fiorina for the first time I heard her months ago, but she must tell me why my printer jams." I guess it's a Hewlett. I guess he's got a problem with his printer. Can you help him with that?
I can't. You know, I haven't been at Hewlett-Packard for 10 years now, so unfortunately he's going to have to call the service center.
All right, good. Well, all right. Now, let me ask you, every time people talk about you, they say Carly Fiorina would be a good vice presidential candidate. And I go back and forth thinking that's sexist. Sometimes I think that's horribly sexist. They're not saying it about any of the other guys that I hear. They're saying it about you. You're running for president. Is that sexist or not, that your name gets batted around as vice president when you're running for president?
Well, I don't know. My guess is going forward it will get batted around less in that way. But I think to be president, and that's what I'm running to be, requires an understanding of how the economy actually works. I do. An understanding of how the world works and who's in it. I know more world leaders on the stage today than anyone running, with the possible exception of Hillary Clinton, only I didn't do photo ops with people. An understanding of how bureaucracies work, because our government is one giant, bloated, powerful, corrupt, inept bureaucracy. And an understanding of technology, and most of all, an understanding of leadership, which is to challenge the status quo. I think all of those qualities are absolutely necessary in the President of the United States in 2016. We're at a pivotal point in this nation. Politics, as usual, will not do the job anymore. And honestly, truly, as I said in that debate, whatever people are upset about, the political class and the government has failed them. So we need to try something different now.
And indeed, you even said that Donald Trump had tapped into that anger. Carly, thank you very much for joining us. Hope you'll come back.
Thank you, Greta, for having me as always.